Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
For the first time in 2018, we join you from the shores of not just the Atlantic Ocean, but the mystical Mikosuke Canal. It is the Braves and the Miami Marlins for the first time in 2018. Tonight, game one of the series. The roof is open at Marlins Park, and the Braves are rolling on the road. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome to South Florida. So far, so very good for Atlanta on this road trip. A two-game sweep in Tampa Bay against the Rays, but the winning ways continue far beyond the Sunshine State, Joe. Atlanta's staff has been terrific, and that's why they've won 7 straight on the road.
Yeah, starting pitching's been brilliant over that stretch, too, on the road. Take a look at this. Starting pitchers, 7-0, individual record in this streak with an 0.62 ERA.
Bingo.
Thank you. 43 and a third innings. They've only given up 3 earned runs and a 158 average in the last 7 road games. And keep in mind, too, this is everybody chipping in on this. They're averaging better than a strikeout per 9 innings, and they're averaging 6 1/3 inning pitch per start. So they're saving the bullpen a few innings here and there, too. It's a combined effort. They're all doing a good job.
And there's a competition within the competition, if you will. Every starter wants to match the previous performance. You know, Mike Foltynewicz would like to get in on the fun on the road, and Mike would be the first to tell you he didn't pitch a good game last time out.
No, but you know what he did? He had not given up more than 2 earned runs in any start all year. Okay, he ran into a buzzsaw against the Giants. 6 runs in the second inning. That's all the runs they got. And that's all they needed that particular night. But what he did, he continued to pitch, and you're seeing some mistakes here down the middle or upstairs. His location was killing him. But he stayed in the game, and he worked 5 innings, and again, saved the bullpen a few innings, and that helped the ball club, too. They may not have won the ball game, but Mike hung in there.
Well, he'll face Caleb Smith, a very talented and exciting young left-hander for the Marlins in Game 1. He's part of this massive rebuilding project undergoing yet again here in South Florida for their National League Ball Club. When we return, Paul Bird will introduce you to the new-look Marlins as the Braves and Fighting Fish kick off 2018 hostilities tonight and next.
Braves Baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer, the Georgia Lottery, and by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by always wearing your seatbelt.
Welcome back to Braves Marlins in Miami, Florida, everybody. It is a beautiful day, but I got to tell you, the Marlins are going through a little rebuilding phase. Derek Jeter, part of that ownership. There's been a lot of changes on the field. They've been playing better lately, but overall throughout this season, they have struggled. So you know what? We're serving up some fresh fish down here. You see that record, not too good. 224 average, really struggling last in the National League. That translates to not a lot of runs. Here's the problem. They've lost Stanton, Yelich, Ozuna, Gordon, and Suzuki, all all-stars. Some veteran leadership in that team. They are a Major League Baseball team. So we have to play the game. There's no guarantees. Anything can happen, but it does look good for the Braves, who've had a very tough schedule so far. Now, Don Mattingly had to go back home for a family situation, a funeral, so Tim Wallach will be acting as the Marlins manager tonight. Snyder will be the bench coach. The Braves have been playing very well lately. They like being on the road. They've had good team chemistry, so this will be a great game to see if they can continue that. It's beautiful. The dome is open. Sunny skies, not too hot. We'll see how that translates. The Braves feeling good on the road. Braves Marlins coming up next.
By Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
Beautiful night in Miami. 80 degrees, partly cloudy, a very gentle and comfortable breeze is blowing, so the roof is open. 13th time the Marlins have played at home with the dome opened up. We'll see how the ball travels tonight in game one of this series. Atlanta facing left-hander Caleb Smith, who has been a very pleasant surprise and tonight makes his 8th start of the year. The Braves are going, speaking of 8, for their 8th consecutive road victory. They've won the last 2 games in Tampa Bay, and now they take on the Marlins for the first time in 2018. Again, Ozzie Albies leads off the Toyota starting lineup. He's been so good and so dangerous in the first inning. Freeman, Markakis, Suzuki, NCRT moves up in front of Jose Bautista, who's back in at third base. Pitcher batting 9th again for Atlanta, with Johan Camargo playing shortstop and hitting 8th.
He's got Caleb Smith out of Huntsville, Texas, and Sam Houston State.
Came over from the Yankees, a former 14th round draft pick back in 2013. 6'2", 205, very solid. First 4 starts, not so much. Last 3 starts, a whole bunch. 2-1, an 0.96 ERA. His last outing, 5 2/3 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball. 7 innings of shutout ball on the outing before that against the Colorado Rockies with a walk and 9 strikeouts. His fastball sits 90 to 94, but he is sneaky quick. Ball gets on you quickly. He hides it well. Slider, changeup, and not much of an average against him either. 184 overall for the season.
As Paul Bird said just a moment ago, it is really a shock to the system, even here on the 10th of May, to see the Marlins for the first time, Joe, and see who's not here. How hard is that from the Braves' perspective to focus on who is playing this game and not take for granted that Ozuna, Yelich, and Giancarlo Stanton, among others, are no longer with this Marlins club?
I think there's been enough time that you don't have to, dwell on that too much.
Here, 4th in the league in homers with 10. And that bounced up there for an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Albies has crushed left-handed pitching, and he's done great damage in the first. He's 17 for 35 at the plate in the opening inning this year. That's a .486 average. So you talk about igniting an offense. Ozzie has done that and more. This one's popped up, and that'll head into the seats. Justin Bour gave chase, has no play.
What is this, 5 straight left-handed starters against Atlanta? That's a rarity these days.
One ball, 2 strikes, base is empty, and he didn't chase. It's now even 2-2. And now full count. Good approach for Albies. Take some pitches, drive up the pitch count, let everybody else see what Smith has to offer. He has walked 17 men in his first 34 innings with the Fish. 3-2 is back to the screen and out of play.
The thing that jumped out about me when I looked at his season line, 34 1/3 innings, 23 hits. That's a good number to go with 48 strikeouts in those 34 innings. Very few hits, a low number of hits, I should say, and a lot of strikeouts.
He is striking out, Joe, 1 of every 3 hitters. A 33% strikeout rate for Caleb Smith, who's a virtual unknown, I guess you could say, after the Marlins got him from the Yankees last November.
Boy, he's been a godsend for them in their rotation, too, with the struggles of Urania.
That's grounded foul. Albies will see a 9th pitch.
One of the things that I read about him today, I believe Miss Gretchen Caney provided this to us today, was that he's 7th in the league in swing and miss rate. Of pitches that are in the strike zone, 26% swing and miss. That's high.
And strike 3 at the knees. Albies was on his way to first base. He thought that ball was low. And he's chirping. Somebody in the Braves dugout might be as well. But Rob Drake rings up Albies for out number 1.
Too close to take.
So that brings up Ronald Acuna, hitting .302 for the year. Acuna with 3 homers, 6 knocked in. And he pops the first pitch back toward us, and out of play, a strike.
And already a shift on for him.
Ronald scored a couple of runs in the Tampa Bay series. He hit the home run in the 1-0 Atlanta win in Game 1 at Tropicana Field. Swing and a shot down the left field line, but pulled foul. That was lightning quick. That might have been Smith's best fastball. It was 93 miles an hour, and Ronald had it covered beautifully, but just swung a bit early. And now the count to him, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3, inside corner. He took one. So back-to-back looking strikeouts for Smith.
Very good start for him. Fastball down at the knees on Acuna, or excuse me, on Albies, and a slow breaking ball there for the called third on Acuna.
So that's 50 strikeouts for Smith in 35 innings. And now the Marlins shift for Freeman. And that's down and away, ball 1. Freddie did great work against the Marlins last year. Hit over 300 against them. He drove in 7 runs, hit 3 homers, but they pitched around him a lot. He walked 13 times. This one's hit a mile high toward left. Long run, Derek Dietrich. Wind pushing that toward the stands, and nobody can get there. Martin Prado joined him. And no play, and Freeman gets another swing, a ball and a strike. Of Freddie's 26 RBIs have been against left-handed pitchers. 2 of his 5 homers have come against southpaws. And now the 1-1. Here's stroke toward the gap in right center field. That's going to get down and be cut off in front of the track. A long single for Freeman. Nice play by Anderson to cut it off. And that's the first base runner of the game for the Braves. Freddie Freeman gets his Miami series off to a good start.
That was a terrific play by Anderson to save a double or more. Fastball down and out over the plate. And Anderson got it on the first hop.
That brings up Nick Markakis, the 3rd leading hitter in the National League, with a .338 mark. This is, Joe, another area where the Braves have been so good. They've been a very productive 2-out hitting team.
5 of those home runs and 17 of the RBIs have come in the last 17 games.
That just missed. Smith thought it was good enough. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's that Braves 2-out production. It's our Lowe's whole team together feature.
And it is a group effort with 2 outs. RBIs. Love that. 2-out RBIs, 84 of them. Awesome.
So Smith will throw a 20th pitch here in the 1st inning. Freeman at first. A ball and 2 strikes for Nick Markakis. They've got him picked off with a good throw. And they do pick off Freddie Freeman. And the Braves are out of luck in the 1st inning. So it's 19 pitches for Smith. He didn't have to make one to Nick. Freeman took off too quickly and is retired, and so are the Braves. Mike Foltynewicz goes to work. No score. number 3 tonight. No score after a half inning here in Miami.
4 home starts, 1-1 with a 4.22 ERA. Road, a 2.87 ERA and a very low batting average against. He'll try to get back on track after that loss against the Giants last time out. His Ford Keys, as a result of that San Francisco outing, have a very short memory. Forget about it, move on. He does need, however, better fastball location than he had in that start. And if there was a third key, it would be run support. He's the guy that's low man on the totem pole when it comes to the offense, providing him some runs.
22 total runs of support for Mike in his last 14 starts. As he faces JT Realmuto, the Miami catcher, leading off. 9th game for JT, batting first. This guy's a good player, hitting .309 on the year. There were many who were surprised that Realmuto was also not traded in the offseason purge by the Marlins. So many teams asked for this guy's services because of his great work behind the plate, how athletic he is, and Joey's got a live bat.
Price was always too high. Braves made some inquiries about him. Price was way too high in terms of the first #1 prospect in each team.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Realmuto reaches out and spanks a single into center field. A base hit for the Miami catcher to get things started.
Looked like too good a pitch on a 1-2 count.
So here's a familiar face. Martin Prado is back. Martin's had a couple of injury-plagued seasons in Miami, but he's back playing third base. Starlin Castro came to Miami in the Stanton deal. Nomad Bohr, Brian Anderson, Dietrich Rojas, Louis Brinson, a former Brewer, and Caleb Smith pitching and hitting 9th on the Toyota lineup card for the Fish. And fouled away by Prado, strike 1. Martin playing in his 11th game tonight, batting just .119.
That means he is 5 for 42, 1 for his last 22. He played in 37 games last year before getting hurt. But in essence, he hasn't played in a year. I mean, he's trying to get his swing back after an absence of almost a whole calendar year.
So Mike ahead 0-2. Let's see if he can finish off Prado quickly. That has been a somewhat vexing problem from time to time for Mike. Not this time. If Markakis can catch it, he does, and Prado's out #1. So Starlin Castro's going to be the hitter. Castro at .296, a homer and 16 runs batted in. Castro signed through 2019. Last year hit .300 for the Yankees, played but 112 games. And Foltynewicz threw that one right by Freddie Freeman. And Realmuto around second is on his way to third after a 2-base throwing error. That wasn't close.
No, it wasn't. And in most cases with a catcher running, you think, okay, he'll be happy to stop at second. As you said, Realmuto's a good athlete, runs well, made it to third.
Well, Mike could use a strikeout here. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball is popped back to the screen by Starlin Castro.
Castro last year 16 homers, 63 RBIs for the Yankees. Nice double play combination with Didi Gregorius.
But when the Marlins sent Stanton to the Yankees, some financial considerations had to come back so the Yankees could stay under that payroll luxury tax deal. Castro was the man that came back. And who knows, at the deadline, he might be a valuable commodity that gets moved for Miami. 0-2 pitch is popped up on the infield. Who wants it? It'll be Freddie Freeman with a basket catch on the third base side of the mound. That was a tough play. He had to go up and down the pitcher's slope to make that play.
I want you to look at the location that Suzuki is set up here, down and away. Again, not even close on the location.
But Castro bailed him out, and now Justin Bour, the hitter. This is where he's been most dangerous. He's hit 7 home runs this year. 6 of them have come with 2 outs for the Marlins. And this guy has quickly become a real pest for the Braves pitching staff.
I'll say.
13 RBIs in 14 games played for Bour last season against Atlanta. Ball 1, strike 1 to Justin Bour.
Bour's battled injuries himself last couple of years. He's had some problems this year with a bad foot.
2 balls and a strike. What a save by Suzuki. And right now, Mike doesn't have a very good feel for where the ball's going. Now it's full. No batting gloves for Bour. Filthy batting helmet caked with pine tar. This guy can hit him a long way. If you're not careful, the pitch moved him off the plate. That's ball 4. So first and third for Miami. The inning continues for Brian Anderson. We've seen Anderson play the infield for Miami. Third base last season for them. He's getting the start in right field tonight.
In that bad inning against the Giants, Foltynewicz just issued 1 walk, but he gave up 6 runs on 5 hits. 9 hits total in his 5 innings of work, but 5 of them came in that inning.
Lifted toward right, near the line. Markakis is there. Foul ground. He'll make the play, and that retires the side. Foltynewicz works around a leadoff hit and a 2-base error to keep the game scoreless. We go to the second inning. picked off in the first inning, it's that Nick Markakis gets a new set of strikes to start the second inning. He's already seen a few from Caleb Smith. Let's see if he can improve on those Georgia Lottery jackpot numbers over the last couple of weeks.
Boy, they're hard to improve on, aren't they? 10 extra base hits, 17 RBIs, and his batting average just crazy over that stretch. 2 for 8 with a homer in Tampa.
Nick is pushing toward 2,100 major league hits. And I asked our stat man Drew Jenkins to look this up. Nick Markakis, among active players, has the most hits of anybody in Major League Baseball who has yet to make an All-Star team. Maybe this will be his year.
That would be very nice and well deserved, but also long time in coming. He put up some big numbers in Baltimore before coming to Atlanta.
First in the league in hits, first in multi-hit games, third in average. And he's wearing out lefties too. Strike one to him. And Smith just missed for an even count. The really great thing is, as great as Nick has been, is the protection he's now providing Freddie Freeman in the lineup, and that they're 2 left-hand hitters doesn't bother Brian Snitker a bit because both Freddie and Nick hit lefties so well. So that's been a real nice 3-4 combo.
In this day and age of matchups, it's very unusual that your 3 and 4 hitters are left-handers in there every day.
Line towards short and over short. Rojas couldn't make the play. It's another hit from Markakis, and the new set of strikes might have paid off. Second hard hit ball by Atlanta, and their first leadoff man is aboard tonight.
Fastball. Bell tie. That's usually not a good thing, and it wasn't.
So that was hit number 2,100 for him.
Was it?
Yeah, 2,100 hits. And now here's Kurt Suzuki. Kurt's at 299. Good cut, fouled back, strike one. All about Marlins Park and how big it is, how pitcher friendly it is. 407 feet to straightaway center. 344 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line. A lot of ground to cover. And a strike 0-2.
That's a nice slow breaking ball.
Strike 3 inside corner. All 3 of his strikeouts are called thirds. And Suzuki is grumbling. He'll want that pitch though for Foltynewicz if he gets it thrown that way. 1 on, 1 out.
Slow breaking ball again.
So again, Smith strikes out 1 of every 3 hitters on average. He's got 3 strikeouts among his 4 outs so far today. Here's Ender. You fell 1 shy last night of your 3-hit prediction for Mr. Inciarte.
Yeah, I talked to him about it after the game. Told him I was sorry. He was happy with his 2, and I asked him tonight, how many tonight? And
base hit to right. That's headed for the corner. Markakis cuts the bag at second on his way to third. Anderson hustles the ball in, fires it to Bohr at the first base bag. And the Braves in business, second and third with 1 out.
And he is in business. And I said last night, I said, do you want to be greedy tonight and go for the 3-hit night tonight? And he went, yeah, okay.
You're right. That was one of his best swings against a left-hander in a while.
Got that foot down. High fastball, tomahawked it. And as you said, Anderson, more of an infielder, was thinking more about the throw to the plate. Never thought about Ender, who got into second base without a throw.
So a hit could score 2 for Atlanta. Jose Bautista looking for an RBI here. Scoreless game. The pitch to Jose is downstairs. Ball 1. No homers or RBIs as a Brave. And now Real Muto will have a chat. So this will be a mound visit.
Kind of appeared that Smith was trying to be very careful there with Bautista, and could be with the base open. That's what he was trying to do.
Johan Camargo's on deck. 2 balls, no strikes for Bautista. And fouled straight back. It's 2-1. Ground ball up the middle. That'll get a run home. Throw to first in time. Bautista's first RBI as a Brave brings home Nick Markakis. And he hits it right into the shift. It's 1-0. Bautista will get a warm greeting as he heads back to the Braves' first base dugout. Inciarte to third on the play. It's 1-0.
You bet. Put it in play. Got him in. Got another guy over. A good out.
The Marlins will intentionally walk Camargo and pitch to Foltynewicz with 2 out. Mike is 2 for 13. And new signs for the Marlins defense from Real Muto. Mike does have 2 hits. He does have 2 RBIs. Let's see if he can pick up a 2-out knock here. Or maybe Smith will throw one in the dirt and Ender can come home. We'll see. Pretty good rip. And he's mad. That's a pitch he wants back. Strike 1.
Tried to ambush one and got the pitch he wanted.
And then, of course, something with a hook to it. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, first and third for the Braves. The pitch is caught on and missed. Ball in the dirt. And Real Muto applied the tag, and that'll end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Smith, but the Braves score the game's first run. Nick Markakis in Atlanta up 1-0.
Braves up 1-0, bottom of the second in this one. Now I have to say that Ender Inciarte is one of those people that is a great teammate in the clubhouse, creating that chemistry. How do we know? Because he loves to lead off. He's focused on stealing bases, but he said when it comes to batting in the lineup, I really don't care where they put me. I just want to win. That big double in the second inning getting us going, leading to a run. Guys, he is a great team player, a leader. We love the way he plays the game, and glad he's in Atlanta.
And he does, it's not a pom-pom type leadership, Paul, as you know. I mean, it's a quiet leadership, but it's also firm. He's really a good role model for the Latin players to see how he goes about his business. He is a real asset.
And with his double in the second, as Paul mentioned, Ender's now 3 for his last 3 against a left-handed pitcher after having 2 hits against lefties all year long before this trip to the state of Florida. So he's starting to feel his oats a bit, which is good. He's been kind of slumping of late for Atlanta. 1-0 Braves. Dietrich, Rojas, and Brinson coming up in the second. Mike Foltynewicz staked to an early lead.
Shutdown inning. Go after him, throw strikes, quick inning.
Dietrich wants to swing the bat. He's walked only 3 times this year. He has struck out 35 times. He'll put it in play to second, and Albies will throw him out. It was a good start. 1 man down.
And guys, if I can, going back to Ender, I really like what you said, Joe. He is a lead by example guy. We forget that he was moved over to left field a couple years ago. He did not complain at all. He threw a guy out, throwing the ball 94 miles an hour from home. This is the guy that has the most 4- and 5-star catches, moved to left. Again, he didn't complain. He's the base runner that takes the extra base no matter what the score and always comes to the field to play. Great point.
There's Miguel Rojas, the Marlins shortstop, hitting .248 with 5 homers. That's a surprising number. Rojas had 4 career homers before this season. Ground ball to Camargo at short. Johan to his left. Long throw gets him by a step. 2 groundouts for Foltynewicz. And he is 1 out away from that shutdown inning Joe was calling for. That'll bring up Lewis Brinson. Brinson came over in the Yelich deal. He's a local kid. Graduated from Coral Springs High School. Was going to go to the University of Florida before the Rangers signed him. Took him as a first-round pick. This guy had a super year at AAA for Colorado Springs, but making contact has been a big problem for him.
He was the number 1, no doubt number 1 prospect in the Milwaukee organization. They got him in the deal for Yelich, so they were pleased to do that, and that goes back to what we were talking about with Real Muto. That's what they wanted from anybody that wanted JT also, was your number 1 guy. But he has had trouble making contact. He was 5 for 47 last year with the Brewers, was 17 strikeouts. And 46 strikeouts now in 119 at-bats for the Fish.
And Foltynewicz shuts him down. 1-2-3 in the top of the order coming up for Atlanta, looking to extend a 1-0 lead. Game 1 in Miami. So far so good for the Braves.
Let's go places. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Beautiful night in Miami. Roof is open. Braves have opened up a 1-0 lead. Top of the order is coming up. It starts with Ozzie Albies, and he is our Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature.
20 road games for the Oz. 315 average, extra base hits, RBIs, 19 of them in 20 road games, out of primarily the leadoff spot in recent days. And he's hit in 6 straight. 1 hit each in the games in Tampa.
He took strike 3 to start the game. Now he gets his second look at Smith and pops one down the right field line. Anderson gives chase, but can't get there.
He lost it. I lost it when it got above the support structure of the stadium that holds the roof up in the clouds. I couldn't find it, and neither could he.
So a swing on the house for Albies. And the 0-1 is pulled foul past Ron Washington, the Braves' third base coach. It's 0-2.
As we pan the stadium, you see an awful lot of empty blue seats. They're averaging about 11,000 people per game. But one thing they're not doing, they're not sugarcoating it. The previous ownership would give you an attendance. They might say there's 25,000 here based on tickets sold. These guys, including Mr. Jeter, are telling you exactly how many people are coming through the turnstiles. And it's not many.
1-2 pitch is lined out of play.
Although it's not that there's that big a decrease in actual people coming to the stadium. It's just that the numbers aren't inflated like they were for the previous ownership.
Well, it had to be a bittersweet acquisition for Bruce Sherman and Derek Jeter. First, the 1-2 pitch, which is fouled back. The Marlins were apparently hemorrhaging money with the payroll that they had. The Stanton contract was one that even under Jeffrey Loria's ownership they probably couldn't afford, and that was compounded by giving Stanton a total no trade clause, which made it even more difficult to move him. He was basically able to pick his terms, and teams knew that, and the Marlins might not have gotten all they could have had that no trade been in effect. But moving Ozuna, moving Yelich, they've had to start over once again here in Miami, and that has been the recurring theme for this franchise, even going back to Wayne Heisinga's days as the owner here. They would have winning seasons, then dismantle the club. And so now Jeter and Sherman have to start over with a, shall we say, somewhat cynical baseball fan base here in Miami. And every team with its marketing slogan tries to come up with something catchy. The Marlins this year is just getting started. So they really are starting from ground zero with Don Mattingly still at the helm. They brought in Gary Denbo to be the vice president of development and scouting. He's another former Yankee. But Jeter's plan is, like the Braves, build it from the ground up so that it's sustainable and affordable. And that was really the problem that the contracts that Yelich had, Stanton had, and Ozuna had.
They have a lot to prove. They have so much to prove, and to do that, you have to win.
Popped up. Let's see if anybody has trouble catching this one. Anderson got there and awkwardly makes the catch. He actually overran it. But Starlin Castro was there, and the play's made for out number 1. Albies is 0 for 2.
He's telling Castro and Bohr about having trouble seeing the baseball. And there's nothing more unsettling than for a player like Anderson, who's used to playing on the infield, to be out there in that type situation and think, how do they do that out here? I can't even see the ball.
And it's amazing how it finds you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the least bit out of position or just checking into the game, baseball gods have a way of welcoming you to the ball game. Here's Acuna, 1 ball, no strikes. Ronald took strike 3 in his first at bat. Swing and a miss. Sadly, one can only wonder how differently the history of the Marlins franchise would have been written had Jose Fernandez not passed away so tragically.
Huge blow.
And last year, the Marlins were 77-85, with Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna hitting 114 of their 194 homers. If they had had Jose Fernandez as their #1 horse at the top of the rotation, who knows what Miami could have accomplished. That's a blow that going to take a long time to recover from, as Acuna just got hit. That ball biting in on his hands. Did it hit him or was it fouled away?
Foul ball. He got hit last night, though, on a similar pitch that grazed his hand.
Ground ball to short. Long throw, and Acuna almost beat it. Rojas looked like he loaded up, almost double clutched, and that nearly cost him as Acuna busted down the line and was out by the blink of an eye.
Yeah, he's looking around like, well, it took 2 hops, but he's looking around like, what was that?
So bang bang play goes Miami's way. Here's Freeman, who singled back in the opening inning. 1-0, Braves have the lead. And up and out of play, foul. Strike one. Freeman has 13 multi-hit games this year. He's got 1 so far tonight. And up the middle, there's another one. So Freeman has 2 2-out singles. Shift or no, he hit that ball right on the button.
It just cracks me up. They had a 1 shift on for him until he fouled off a ball, so it went to 0-1. Then they put on another shift and put Martin Prado over on the first base side of second. So they've got a different shift for a different count, and he still gets a hit. That just cracks me up. Geniuses, boy, I'm telling you what, those numbers don't lie, do they?
Nope.
Or do they?
Well, you know what they say about numbers. Here's Markakis. The pitch is in for a strike.
Reached out, just kind of almost like a half swing.
Oh, and 1 your count. Markakis tries to dump one into shallow center. Brinson with a diving, tumbling catch. Robbed him of a hit. That's a terrific play. Big Park. Brinson's speed saved him and Smith some 2-out trouble. Nothing doing for the Braves. 1-0.
1-0. Well, left-handed pitcher Caleb Smith has been the ace of the Marlins staff this year, and I asked them to describe him in a word. They said intense. He has to harness that intensity, guys. He had a bad round of BP earlier today, so he snapped his bat. Once again, I'm finding out something I've never heard before in this game. Guys, back to you.
Wow, that's intense. Throws left, bats right. Doesn't happen very often either.
And Foltynewicz just struck him out to start inning number 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mike. 1 away.
It's up in the dugout.
Smith 0 for 9 now with 7 strikeouts. So your 4 keys for Foltynewicz, Joe: short memory and better fastball location. He's gone through the lineup once now. He's got his first out in the 3rd. What are you seeing from Mike so far tonight?
I think he's settling in. I don't think it was there to begin. You know, and maybe on edge a little bit, the way he threw that pickoff throw over to first base that wasn't even in the same zip code, but has a lead and pitching like it. And no shame in giving up a hit to this guy. Coming in the last 9 games against the Braves, Real Muto was hitting .385 against Atlanta.
Ball 1, strike 1 for JT Realmuto. JT hit 278 last year. 17 homers, played 141 games, stole 8 bases, made only 6 errors.
It's a lot of games for a catcher.
Talked about his good speed and his great athleticism. This man had an inside the park home run in Philadelphia. His other inside the park homer came against Milwaukee. But he can't catch up to that high heat. 98 miles an hour retires Realmuto, and that's 3 straight strikeouts for Foltynewicz. 2 outs.
Got him upstairs with this one. Trying to go up to it. No chance.
Six up, 6 down for Mike. Here's Martin Prado. He flied out. Marlins are 7-11 in their home park this year. It's a good news, bad news 7-11. They're hitting .237 as a team here, with only 11 home runs in 18 games. The good news is, though, they've pitched well, a .327 team ERA.
Yeah, it's like half of what it is on the road. Oh.
A little high, I guess. 2-1 the count. Martin now 34 years young, signed through 2019. Over for a strike. It's 2-2. Had a super year 2 years ago for the Marlins. Hit .305. Played 153 games, 600 at bats. And when he's right, he can do that with the best of them. How many times did we see Martin Prado hit the ball to right field wearing a Braves uniform successfully? And he's got a 2-out hit in front of Starlin Castro.
I know he hadn't had many hits, but he wants that baseball. I don't know if anyone over in the Marlins dugout knows the significance of it.
We'll try to find out, as Starlin Castro didn't get a slider. I'm looking at Martin's line. Doesn't look like there's any major milestones for hits, as Miami has 2 of them on the night. Lifted on a play right side. It's 0-2 again.
Maybe it's his first hit to right field since last season. I don't.
Could be.
Knowing Martin, there might be something really funny attached to it.
The 0-2 is high. Mike's done a pretty good job tonight of getting to 2 strikes and getting the at bat over with quickly. He's got a 1-2 count now for Mr. Castro. Justin Bour waits on deck. The Braves want to see him in the 4th. Now the pitch is off the plate, full count. So Prado will get a chance to run after Castro fell behind 0-2. It's now 3-2. There he goes, and the pitch is a beautiful breaking ball for a called 3rd strike.
Love it.
Foltynewicz strikes out the side in the 3rd inning. Prado with a base hit with 2 outs. He's left aboard. Mike maintains his 1-0 lead with Kurt Suzuki set to lead things off.
Presents Hats Off for Heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Chip and Joe back with you in Miami. Paul Bird reporting down by the Braves dugout. Good start for Mike Foltynewicz so far. Atlanta leads 1-0. As we head to the 4th inning, Suzuki, Inciarte, and Jose Bautista are coming up. Bautista has the game's only RBI. Kurt didn't get that. Strike 1. Kurt started game 1 in Tampa Bay. Went 0 for 3 at the plate. But that too was a 1-0 game. And there's that inside corner. He has not seen eye to eye with Rob Drake on that pitch tonight.
Great numbers against this team.
I'll fly back our way. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes.
Great story about Kurt. as it relates to his ethnicity and how he grew up in Hawaii playing mostly against Asian American kids. And the older he got, the fewer and, well, virtually zero Asian American kids, the higher he got in baseball. And that if he provides some bit of encouragement to anyone of that ethnicity, he likes it and hopes that they can all strive for the same thing that he was able to accomplish.
Smith strikes him out for the second time. That's 5 for Caleb. And that'll bring up Ender. Ender's 3 for his last 3 at the plate against left-handed pitching. He ripped a double in the second inning. Tries to bunt, fouls it away. Strike 1. Braves trying to extend their road winning streak to 8 consecutive victories. Braves are 13-7 away from SunTrust Park. Counting tonight's run, they've outscored their opposition 42-6. Last time the Braves had an 8-game road winning streak in a single season was 2009. The all-time team record in a single year is 10 straight road wins. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Smith is getting every one of those borderline, just off the plate, out of the zone calls for strikes, and Mike is not getting any of them.
That's probably why Kurt was so mad. 2-2. Smith has 31 strikeouts now in his last 3.5 starts. 5 tonight. 7 in 5 2/3 innings against the Reds in his last game. And now the 3-2 pitch is popped out of play, foul.
Yeah, in this last 3-game stretch where he's gone 2-1 with an 0.96 ERA coming into play tonight, he had walked 2 and struck out 26. That's a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio.
Lifted toward Brinson in center, and Lewis says he's got it, and he does for the second out. And now Jose Bautista. He's got his first RBI as a Brave, a ground out in the second inning. Bautista was waiting for Real Muto to throw it back to the pitcher. There's the shift. And here's the 0-1. Tried to tie him up inside and missed badly. It's now 3 balls and a strike.
I was talking about Bautista last night and about how he's still going through spring training in a way, trying to get more and more at bats at this level to get his timing down. He and Prado kind of have the same problem. Seeing live action.
Line over third. And he almost hit it right to Martin Prado. Full count. Well, there's no substitute for live action, as you said. You can't simulate this in batting practice, you got to roll him out there and let him play. As Batista shoots one toward right, Anderson, with darkening skies overhead, has no trouble with this one. And Smith works a 1-2-3, top of the 4th inning. Is the division that nobody seems to want to win. As Justin Bour takes a strike. There is not a single team in the AL Central at the start of today's action that is over 500. Kansas City is 12 games under 500 for the year, and they're only 6 games out of first place.
Boy, that's a break. Well, they're playing Baltimore right now, clash of titans. Perez hits a grand slam in the first inning, and the score is now 6-5.
Well, that's a good point. It's Kansas City at 12-24, Baltimore at 9-27.
9-27.
Yep. Baltimore already 17 games out of first place. And that's high to Justin Bour. 3 balls and a strike. Bour, Anderson, and Dietrich. Mike's walked 1, struck out 4. He's scattered a couple of hits. See if he can come back and get the Marlins first baseman here.
Try not to throw him anything down and in.
Popped him up. And Bour flips the bat in disgust all the way into the Marlins dugout. That rattled around on the top step. That's not going to make somebody happy. Certainly not Bour, who's retired for the first time, and a good start to the 4th inning. 1 out.
I used to hate that when one of my teammates would have a little hissy fit and then everybody else had to pay for it.
So Bour's retired. Here's Anderson. He popped out his first time up. I'm sure Suzuki's saying, why is that not a strike? Looks like Rob Drake's giving the inside corner, but not the outside corner. 1-0 is lined toward left, right at Acuna, who's got his red glove on again. Had the black glove on late in the game yesterday, and the Braves were giving him more grief today after his 2-base error in the 2nd inning in Tampa last night. Kurt Suzuki and company were acting out his, shall we say, tumbling try to make the fly ball catch the other day, and all we're having a good time about it. Close-knit group. Here's Dietrich. 2 quick outs for Folty.
I love the breaking ball he threw to Castro to strike him out looking in the third inning. He hadn't thrown that many good breaking pitches up to that point. He just threw another good one.
Kind of like the fact, Joe, that he didn't show everything in his arsenal the first time through the order. It's almost like he saved this pitch and kept it in reserve to give them something else to think about here.
Well, that's all well and good if you've got good fastball command and can just keep firing that 98 fastball in there. But if you don't and you're behind in the count and trying to throw a strike with it, that's not a good thing.
Dietrich almost hit by a pitch. He knows a thing or two about that. He just took strike 2. Dietrich's already been hit 6 more times by a pitch this year. That's 78 for his career. And fouled back. 2-2. "60 pitches or thereabouts for Mike through 4 innings is pretty darn economical for him." Only had 2 3-ball counts. And this one right back up the middle. Braves had him played perfectly, and Camargo throws out Dietrich to retire the side. Sharply hit ball, excellent positioning, bails out Folty, and we go to the 5th. On demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. Time for the 5th inning, presented by Audi. Johan Camargo has made a nice play at shortstop to send us to the 5th inning. Foltynewicz and Albies to follow against Caleb Smith, who's on the short end of a 1-0 game.
That was a pretty exterior shot of the stadium with the roof open.
Now, taking away the home run sculpture, which I know you hate.
You do too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Although it looks like a lot of my belts. There's the 1-0 pitch to Camargo. Overall, how do you like this park?
It's grown on me. I think there could be some things done that make it better.
Line toward the gap in left center. That'll get down for a hit. Brinson cuts it off with a backhand. And Johan Camargo is on base for the 2nd time. That snaps an 0 for 14 for the Braves shortstop.
Yeah, he needed that. Really needed that.
See if he asks for the ball like Martin Prado did. He was 0 for 19.
But see, he went out and got that and covered it. He's been rolling over some pitches. He's been on his heels a little bit, somewhat like Ender, who went down and threw that one.
See if Mike can lay down a bunt. He has one sacrifice.
You know, the past ownership was big into artwork and tried to make some Art Deco looking stuff in the stadium. It really doesn't play. They could spruce it up a lot.
There's the bunt. And Prado's going to go to second for one, on to first late. That was slick. At the very last moment, Martin Prado took over, and Foltynewicz can't advance Camargo. He's forced out at second, and Mike's aboard with one away.
Boy, he got a good call from somebody on that. With his back to second base to make that play was pretty impressive. Maybe Real Muto was telling him.
Bohr will play in front of Foltynewicz at first base as Ozzie digs in 0 for 2 and didn't get it. Strike one. Well, for me, the best part of this park is the roof.
Sure.
With the heat, the humidity, the pop-up thunder showers that take place here in South Florida, you know the game will be played, and that's certainly a help. Pop fly foul, and it'll come in handy. We understand this weekend there is rain expected either Saturday or certainly Sunday before we get out of town and head to Chicago.
Despite its immense size, it doesn't seat that many people. I think it's less than 40,000 people. And that's okay. But you've got to create a winning tradition, a winning atmosphere that surrounds baseball, and not all of the side things that they've had going on here forever.
Well, those two banners will tell you that, as you said earlier, if they put a winning product on the field, the fans will find their way to the ballpark. They showed up at, what was it, Joe Robbie? Was it?
Yeah, it's had 100 names.
Landshark Stadium.
Sun Life, I think it is now.
Sun Life now. One ball, two strikes for Albies. Foltynewicz leads. The pitch is lined towards center. Brinson, good jump, got there, and there's the second out. And it's hoped that, again, with Bruce Sherman in the ownership seat, Derek Jeter as his president of baseball operations, that there'll be some long-term stability here. But as you said, they had to tear it down to the studs, down to the foundation, and rebuild it once again. Not an easy task, the way that the National League East is starting to shape up again. But the Braves coming out of their rebuild, the Phillies out of theirs, the Nationals still powerful, and the Mets with all their pitching.
Well, the previous ownership pretty much stripped their organization, you know, of any prospects that they had that were going to come to the big leagues. They didn't seem to care, you know, about the hard work that was going in to try to develop their own. I'll give you an example. Cashner, Haney went to the Angels.
Right.
Austin Barnes to the Dodgers. Trevor Williams is starting for Pittsburgh. They got nothing for him. Colin Moran's playing third base for Pittsburgh. He was a Marlin. The list goes on. And they got nothing back.
How about Luis Castillo with Cincinnati for Dan Straley, who has had arm trouble.
Right. You know, they've got some people that they've kind of restocked their organization with these trades of those outfielders in particular.
1-2 pitch. They are pitching Acuna in, and that missed high and tight. And it's one thing if you've had a track record of consistent success, which the Braves are fortunate to have. I'm sure it's a very tough sell in this market, which has so many other diversions besides going to a Major League Baseball game, to say to your fans, hey, give us 3 or 4 more years and we'll get back to you when we have a chance to win again. That's a song and dance they've heard and seen before. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And popped up. That will hit into the stands.
Yeah, I felt bad for the town and their fans when the wholesale changes were going on. You say strip it down to the studs. I mean, they really did that by trading all their studs.
Three-two again. Downstairs, patient at bat for Acuna, and a good one. It brings Freddie Freeman to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Fourth walker and by Ronald. First time he's been on base in the game. And the second walk for Smith, the first non-intentional pass.
See what kind of ship they go to the Rolodex on now for Freddie.
Rojas playing right behind Mike Foltynewicz at shortstop. And Freddie yanks one foul and scatters his teammates on the right side. Strike one. You've got Starlin Castro playing the rover spot in shallow right. The rest of the Marlins defenders pretty much straight up. Bohr guarding the line at first. And it's pulled. Castro dives, sprawls, throw to first, and safe. Freddie beat it out. A great play by Castro. And great hustle by Freddie Freeman to sniff out an infield hit. He's 3 for 3, and Atlanta's got him loaded.
I will say this, on this particular shift, that saved a run. By having Castro so far out on the outfield grass, he was able to flag this down. If he's playing normal depth at second base, that's through for a hit. Great try by Castro.
So the Braves have the right guy at the right time. Nick Markakis, man with the most hits in the league, digging in. A Brave at every base with 2 outs, trying to extend a 1-0 advantage. And strike one. Don't forget Nick's home run prowess. 6 of his last 9 homers have been hit against a lefty. Caleb's given up 4 of those in his 8 starts. High fly ball toward left center. Brinson is there. He's got it. And that retires the side. The Braves mount a 2-out threat, but leave them loaded. They still lead it 1-0. South Florida tomorrow night, game 2 of our 4-game series. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox Sports South. The game streams live on Fox Sports Go It'll be the Friday night showdown presented by Kaiser Permanente. Brandon McCarthy and Dan Straley hook up in Game 2. First pitch, 7:10 Eastern Time.
A couple of right-handed veterans in that one will go at it.
Mike had to run the bases a long time in the 5th inning. Couldn't get a bunt down, which may have cost the Braves a run. We'll see if he can motor through the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the Miami 5th. Mike's 3-1 against these guys in his career, a high ERA, slightly over 4. But he and the Braves starters on a very impressive roll. Braves starters now have gone 4 consecutive games of 6 innings or more, not allowing a run. See if he can continue that. And that's a good start. He's thrown strike 1 to 13 of 16 Marlins hitters in the game. One of Joe's keys, better fastball location.
And since the first inning, it has been very good.
Rojas late at 96 miles an hour, 0-2. Oh. Pretty close, but not called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is exactly where Suzuki wanted it. To center. Ender retreats. And that's where fly balls go to die. The Braves Gold Glover hauls that in. Easy catch. 1 out. Here's Brinson.
It's a huge center field, but not even as big as it used to be. They did bring the fences in a little bit out there in center field, but still 407. Used to actually, fence kind of wrapped around behind that eyesore out there.
'24-year-old Lewis Brinson, born in Fort Lauderdale, playing at home after 21 big league games last year with Milwaukee. Originally a first-round pick of the Rangers in 2012. Milwaukee got him for Texas in the Jonathan Lucroy deal. And then when Miami unloaded Christian Yelich in January, Brinson was one of the main pieces coming back. And that'll wake you up. 2-1 the count.
They were loaded with outfielders in Milwaukee. It's Santana. They signed the guy from the Royals, Lorenzo Cain. They got Yelich. They had a surplus of outfielders. They wanted Ryan Braun to play first. That didn't work out in spring training.
So no room for Brinson, a young player around whom the Marlins will try to build. And it's a full count. It's a big kid, 6'5", 206 pounds. Pop fly foul. Brinson stays alive after a rare full count for the Braves starter Mike Foltynewicz.
We were talking about their team a little bit last night when we were playing the Rays, that they don't steal many bases. They don't have many guys that can run. Well, this guy can run. He just can't steal first.
There's a challenging play. Camargo, strong arm. Freeman can't hang on. Ball in the dirt. And Brinson's aboard with 1 out. That's why the Marlins are hoping he can just do that. Put it in play and use your speed to put pressure on the D. Johan threw on the run, threw low, and Freeman couldn't keep it in the leather.
We especially, but his teammates too take Freddie for granted because he seems to always pick that short hop, you know, and save a lot of base runners. Couldn't handle that one.
See how that's scored. Brinson's at first. Smith the hitter. It's an error on Camargo.
They've got 2 errors on the board for the Braves. That would be the second tonight. The first one was by Foltynewicz.
Smith struck out his first time up. And he pushes a bunt toward Freeman, who looks to second, flips to first. Sacrifice works. Now it's up to Realmuto. Do you want him or do you want Prado? See how the Braves play it here, protecting a 1-run 5th inning lead. Again, Realmuto, a leadoff hitting catcher. Something we talked about in Tampa Bay as well. Jason Kendall did that so well. John Jaso has done it too. Realmuto 1 for 2 tonight. In fact, the Marlins are 5-3 when he bats first. And Suzuki had to stretch out to make that play. 1 ball, no strikes. After the first inning, Mike has really pitched. He's got a 1-run lead and a dangerous hitter in Realmuto. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Struck him out on a high fastball last time around. Might get him to chase up there again, but got to get ahead of him.
2-2.
Nice slider.
Opponents are hitting only 106 against Mike's slider. Entering action. He's given up just 5 hits on that pitch this year. Now he's back in the count, 2-2. Too far off the plate to get a swing. Now it's full.
Nice stop by Suzuki. Prado got a hit his last time up, but broken 0 for 19. Don't give in here. Got a base open. Still early enough in the game to pitch around him if need be.
Taken downstairs, Suzuki looks back at Rob Drake and said, "Where was that?" So an error, a sacrifice, and now a walk. And it does bring up Martin Prado with 2 on and 2 out.
Looked like a good pitch again. Kurt thought he swung. But I like that pitch. That was a beauty. Out of the zone. And almost got him to chase.
So here's Prado, 1 for 2. Martin broken 0 for 19 with a 3rd inning hit. And that's up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Now he's gone 3-0. We got Starlin Castro waiting on deck. Chuck Hernandez beginning to pace. A throwing error and a walk. And now a 3-0 count in the inning. Made him throw a strike. Two fast runners aboard for the Fish. 3 balls and a strike. Lined into right field, a base hit. Brinson's going to come around and score. Real Muto on his way to third. He'll be stopped. Martin Prado ties the game with a base hit to right on a 3-1 count. Miami cashes in the Camargo throwing error to tie the game.
Taking it the other way again. Not sure if Martin's had many multi-hit games so far in the season, but he's got one tonight. Fastball that split the plate.
Yeah, Martin came into action tonight with 5 total hits in 10 games. He's got 2 in 3 tries tonight, and his 3rd RBI makes it a 1-1 score. Now a quick visit from Chuck Hernandez. Starlin Castro's coming up with 2 on and 2 out. Limit the damage, keep it at 1, and turn things back over to the offense. 1-1 score, home 5th. Popped him up. There's a big pitch. And Freddie Freeman in at first is there to make the play, and that retires the side. Miami picks up an unearned run to tie the game. After 5, Atlanta won, Miami won. We rejoin you in Miami, where we get set for the 6th inning. Braves 1, Miami 1. Kurt Suzuki, Ender Inciarte, and Jose Bautista are coming up in game 1 of our series. Before Kurt Suzuki gets things started, let's take a look at our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Atlanta has been dominant on the road.
No doubt about it. 42-7 on the runs scored. Home runs outscoring or out homering the opponents by 10. Starters doing their job. Offense has got to get back to doing its job now in a tie game.
Suzuki, Inciarte, and Bautista the hitters. Kurt has struck out twice. Caleb Smith doing what he's been doing for the Marlins. He's pitched very effective ball tonight. A run, 6 hits. He stranded 6 runners. Atlanta had the bases loaded in the 5th, but could not push across a 2nd run. 3 of Atlanta's 6 left on base have been at 2nd or 3rd so far. Right there, a strike to even the count.
Smith's done a good job tonight of mixing his pitches. He's thrown everything for strikes. Only one real walk, one intentional walk to go with that.
That's it to third. Prado backs up. High throw, and the tag applied as Suzuki sailed by. Bohr with a nice play to save an error on Prado. 1 out.
That was a nice play by Bohr. But all he could do was go up the ladder, catch it, and then just drop his glove and hope that Suzuki ran into it, and he did.
That brings up Ender. He doubled in the second. He's flied out in the fourth. And he turns on one and drives it foul to the right side. 1-1 the count. Marlins back home after they were clobbered by the Cubs at Wrigley Field. But despite getting swept, they've won 4 of their last 5 series. After a very poor start, they're playing a lot better ball. Good baseball game tonight. 1-1 is the score. Marlins start of the year 4-12. They're 13-23 overall. So 9-11 for a team that is 10 games under 500. As this one's jammed and shot into right field, that'll fall for a hit for Ender. When those start to fall, you know he's about to go on a tear.
Yep.
And now things get interesting because the league's leading base stealers aboard with 1 out. See if Ender gets frisky on the base paths. He's got 15 stolen bases on the year. Bautista has the Braves RBI. He grounded out to second to get that. And he's also flied out. Ender leads the National League. He's tied with D. Gordon, another former Marlin, for the Major League lead in steals. And that's Tim Wallach. He's going to go and get Caleb Smith here.
Wow.
That was a quick hook.
Well, especially with a fast runner at first, left-handed pitcher, you want to try and hold him the best you can.
So it's a righty coming in. Maybe that'll give Ender an extra step. This is an interesting move. We'll see how it works out. Stay tuned, fans, for the middle of the 7th inning. It's The Stretch, brought to you by your North Georgia Honda dealers. Interesting move by Tim Wallach. He takes Caleb Smith out after 101 pitches, a career high, and brings on Drew Steckenrider, the Atlanta native, in relief.
16 of his 17 outings have been scoreless. There's an interesting note on him. I can't put my finger on, but he hadn't given up a hit in his last 3 or 4 outings.
Covering 3 innings. No balls and a strike for Bautista. Yeah, the last hit Steckenrider gave up was April 29th against the Rockies. He pitched an inning, gave up a hit, and struck out the side. In fact, he struck out the side twice in his last 4 appearances in relief.
So hitters are 0 for May against him. Throws hard. Mid-90s fastball, slider, and a changeup. And for Ender, the challenge for him is also from Real Muto, left-handed pitcher or not. He's thrown out 3 out of 6 base stealers. Talked about him a lot last year, about Real Muto being like an infielder, another infielder on their team. He's so active back there and so athletic. Highly recruited quarterback out of high school.
2 balls, 1 strike for Bautista. Ender's running. The pitch is low. Real Muto's throw is high and safe. He got in just ahead of the tag. Strong throw by Real Muto, who had a real tough pitch to handle. I'm shocked he made that play as close as it was.
Threw it right on the bag. Quick crossover step. Throw was a little up. Boy, what a quick release.
Now a hit means a run, and Bautista has a hitter's count, 3-1. And he didn't get it. Full count.
Long swing.
So Ender, the major league leader in steals with 16. Bautista now a full count. Switch hitting, Johan Camargo on deck. And here's the pitch. It's popped out of play, foul. Still 3-2. Bautista checking with Drake to see if that was a strike. It's too close to take, and he lives to swing the bat again. Braves are hitting .300 as a club with runners in scoring position. They've struggled a bit in that category tonight. They have 7 hits, but they've left 6 on base. Popped up. Martin Prado in foul ground has all the room in the world to make the play. Bautista's retired, 2 away. So now Camargo is up. Again, a switch hitter. The pitcher's spot is next. Mike Foltynewicz is not in the on-deck circle. Preston Tucker is. And the Marlins are going to see if Brian Snitker is bluffing here. They will walk Camargo and force Brian to make his decision. And it appears his decision is made, as Tucker is going to be introduced as the pinch hitter here in the top of the 6th inning. 2 on, 2 out. At bats have been few and far between for guys like Preston Tucker and Ryan Flaherty. Let's see if Preston's sharp enough to put one in play here. Tucker pinch hit in the last game at home against the Giants. And that one's downstairs, ball 1.
You're right. It is hard to stay sharp that way. If you're a pinch hitter, though, you want to come off the bench ready to swing the bat.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Tucker's 4 for 11 in a pinch for the Braves. Inciarte, a fast man at second base. Camargo at first with 2 outs.
You might have heard somebody yelling to Steckenrider to step off, step off, step off, because Ender was about to take off for third.
Now the 2-0 pitch. It's 3-0.
Only 3 walks for Steckenrider in 16 2/3 innings, not counting that intentional pass.
And Tucker draws a 4-pitch walk. Well, now it's very interesting. Bases are loaded. Now you've got Albies coming up. And he'll turn around and bat left-handed here with a Brave at every base. Braves have the bases loaded in the 5th with 2 outs. Let's see if they can break through this time.
That was still a little bit of a bizarre move with the league's leading base stealer at first. And you had a left-handed pitcher there to try to slow him down, even with Bautista at the plate.
Ball 1. He can't throw a strike. Smart decision by Albies to not get too anxious. And now Real Muto out for a visit as Steckenrider's thrown 5 straight balls.
Well, you know that Ozzie likes to hit the first pitch, and he might have even offered at that one. But Ender came running down the third baseline, and it may have distracted Ozzie. He wasn't sure what he was going to do.
Ozzie's hitting a cool 300 with runners in scoring position. He's only struck out 3 times in 30 at bats with a runner in scoring position. That's impressive. The Marlins make a play. The pitch. Got a strike that time, even count. Game on the bases for the Braves. 1-1 score, 2 outs. High fly ball hammered deep to right. Anderson's not going to get it. That ball is gone. A grand slam for Albies.
He picked the right part of the fence to hit that one. It just snuck over a low cutout portion of the fence. Steckenrider hadn't given up a hit in May. His first one is a grand slam. See that little notch between the fans and the fence? Snuck it over.
Told you he was going to put it in play, and that one's put in play. A base hit by Acuna on the first pitch. And all of a sudden, Mike Foltynewicz, who has struggled so mightily to get any kind of run support, Brian Snitker pulls him from the game, calls on Preston Tucker, who coaxes a walk. And then Albies hits a grand slam to give Foltynewicz a 4-run lead, and the game will now be in the hands of the Braves bullpen with a 5-1 score here in Game 1. First career grand slam for Albies, and the first of what I'm sure will be many. And his 11th home run, by the way.
And tied for the team lead in RBIs as the leadoff man.
So Acuna at first. Let's see if he does some running. Freeman's in the box. He unloads deep to right. Anderson's going to watch that one go. A 6-run sixth for Atlanta. Freeman hits his 6th homer on the first pitch.
I said something to Nick Markakis before the game in the clubhouse. I said, stay hot. Freddie thought I was talking to him. He said, what? I said, stay hot. And he goes, I haven't even gotten hot yet. He's 4 for 4 tonight.
2 homers for the Braves in the inning. 2 singles, 2 walks, and a big lead now, 7-1. Freeman's first 4-hit game of the year, his 14th his 14th multi-hit game of the year. Markakis fouls one straight back. Nick, the 9th man to hit in the inning. All of this with 2 outs. And the interesting decision to take Smith out even after a career high 101 pitches with speedy Ender Inciarte at first. He goes with the righty-righty matchup. They got Batista. Ender stole second. An intentional walk, an unintentional walk, a slam, a single, and a 2-run homer later. Atlanta leads by 6. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back. Freddie Freeman now with 10 4-hit games in the major leagues. 3 singles and a homer tonight. And Mike Foltynewicz has a great chance to win this game if the Braves can get 12 outs. Down the left field line, that is just fouled by Nick.
See Tucker's fingers there, his right hand?
Yeah.
He doesn't have those wrapped because he's just been sitting in the dining room eating while he's waiting for another chance to hit. That's from a lot of swings in the cage, making sure he's ready the next time he's called on. Drew a big walk here this inning.
That'll skip into the camera well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, it was a battle of managerial wits in the 6th inning. The Marlins wanted to see if Brian Snitker was bluffing with taking Foltynewicz out of the game.
6-run innings have been good, bad and now good for Mike.
Yes, they have.
Consecutive starts.
So those are even. When Tucker came to the on-deck circle, they walked Camargo and made Brian make the decision to take him out of the game, and it has paid off beautifully. And now Markakis runs it full. 24 pitches for Steckenrider. He's gotten 1 out. Roped into center field, another hit. Markakis a 2-knock night. Braves are cuffing around Mr. Steckenrider, and that's going to be the end of the line for him. He's been awfully good for the Fish of late, but he had an awful time in the Atlanta 6th. He's given up 4 hits, 2 walks, and 5 runs in 1/3 of an inning. 7-1 Atlanta in game 1 of the series. the 7th. It's the stretch brought to you by your North Georgia Honda dealers. Steckenrider is out of the game. Nick Whitgren is in the game.
He's pitched well. He's been in, this will be his 10th game. 10 innings, only 1 earned run allowed. He has walked some guys, 6 against 15 strikeouts. Low to mid 90s fastball and a split finger pitch.
He's a homegrown Marlin, 9th round in 2012. He made his way through the Marlins system, got to the big leagues in 2016 for the first time. First with the now called Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, then the New Orleans Baby Cakes. And yes, those are their minor league team names.
Quite a combo, huh?
Their Class A team is the Port Charlotte Indigestions. Little known major league fact. As Whitgren falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes. What a great 6th inning. Grand slam by Albies, a 2-run homer for Freeman. Foltynewicz has a big lead. Miami just 3 hits. And outside, 3-0. When your bullpen can't come in and throw strikes and you're already trailing, that makes for a real long night. And that's exactly what Steckenrider had to deal with. A 4-pitch walk to Tucker brought Albies to the plate, and the Braves haven't stopped hitting since. And a 4-pitch walk to Suzuki. So Ender gets a chance to hit his 2nd time to the plate in the 6th inning.
Sad part for Caleb Smith is that he only gave up 1 run in the inning, but he's not going to be on the hook for the loss.
Ender's 2 for 3 tonight. He scored a run, stole a base. And makes his man throw a strike, and Whitgren did. 0-1. Eliezer Hernandez has begun to throw. He's a Rule 5 pick.
He was just activated today.
He came from the Houston Astros organization. His first appearance will be his major league debut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slash toward left. Long run Dietrich near the line. Sliding try. Good effort. Can't get there. And now it's 1-2.
Got 2, get 3. Put that offer behind you.
This is the 41st pitch of the inning for the Marlins. And they'll need 42 at the very least. Braves have Sam Freeman up. Looks like he'll be the next pitcher. Two on, 2 out, 6 in the 6th. Here it is. High fly toward Anderson. He turned the wrong way. That's over his head. That's going to bounce into the bullpen for a double. So the Braves have a parade and a merry-go-round rolling in the 6th inning. It's lasted 21 minutes, and the Braves hitters hope it never stops. They've scored 7 times, and Ender does have his 3rd hit.
We showed you that graphic earlier tonight about the Braves scoring more runs than anybody with 2 out. Well, all of these have come with 2 out.
And Bautista wants to bring home a couple more. He's got an RBI, the first of his Braves career. That came in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, no strikes. That's hit to short. Top spin rocket, and the long throw retires the side, but not before the Braves send 12 men to the plate. 7 of them scored. Atlanta got 3 walks and 2 gigantic homers. Ozzie Albies with his first career grand slam. Freddie Freeman with a 2-out, 2-run homer, his 4th hit of the night, and the Braves are rolling in South Florida. The hour at the plate, Ozzie Albies, a grand slam. Freddie Freeman added a 2-run homer as well. That gives the big lead to Mike Foltynewicz. Now it's the Braves bullpen to do its thing. The relief corps appearances begin with Sam Freeman, who's not given up a hit to a left-handed batter all year. And he's got a big one in the box now, Justin Bohr, to start things off.
Sam worked an inning last night, struck out 2.
Ryan Flaherty's taken over at third base for the Braves. First time Ryan's been in a game in about a week. No balls and a strike. And Bohr now 0-2. Some of that, Braves getting a look at Bautista. The other part of that, as Joe said, Atlanta's run into a ton of left-handed pitching. See if Ryan gets the start here in Game 2 tomorrow night with a right-hander on the mound, Dan Straley. No balls, 2 strikes. And Bohr fought it off. Braves did make the double switch. Freeman's going to hit in the 7th spot. Flaherty's going to hit 9th. That spot's coming up second when the Braves hit in the 7th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Bohr didn't get it. They're 0 for 20 against Sam from the left-hand batter's box. Good start to the inning, 1 out. And here's Anderson. Let's see if he can do some breathing, because he ran about 7 miles in the outfield last half inning with the Braves shooting balls over his head and over the fence.
Good work from Mike Foltynewicz. 5 innings, gave up 1 run. It was unearned.
Again, Mike was one of the most poorly supported pitchers in baseball as far as run support's concerned. Last 14 games, the Braves had gone 2-12 with 22 total runs of support. He got 8 tonight. Downstairs from Sam Freeman, 2-0. Luis Gohara is beginning to get ready in the Braves bullpen with a 7-run lead. If Sam Freeman can get through this inning, I figure it'll be a nice low leverage reintroduction to the big leagues for Gohara. Swing and a miss, 2-1 the count. Brian Snitker was talking about that before the game. He's looking for opportunities to get Luis in the game. He needs to pitch. So this looks like a perfect opportunity to see that happen. As that one shot to third, Flaherty with a great play to his right. Freeman digs it out at first base.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a week and no problem.
Beebe hit at him on a short hop.
Flaherty's last at bat for Atlanta was May 2nd. He hit a home run in that last at bat against the Mets in New York, and he made a fine play there for the second out. Here's Dietrich, former Georgia Tech star, 0 for 2, and he's down 0-1. Single run in the second for the Braves. Bautista brought home Nick Markakis. And then 7 in the 6th. Has busted this baby wide open. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little tapper right back to the mound. Freeman's got it, takes his time, makes a good throw, and it's 3 up, 3 down for Sam Freeman. Braves bullpen's pitching good ball in May. That continues with Freeman. Top of the 7th, it's time for This Day in Baseball History, brought to you by Geico. On this day in 1967, Henry Aaron hit home run number 448 off of the Phillies' Jim Bunning. What makes it special? It was an inside the park homer, the only inside the park homer of the 755 Henry Aaron hit in his great big league career.
That's cool.
And so is this young man making his major league debut, Eliezer Hernandez.
All of those games were on rehab after he was put on the disabled list. Low 90s fastball, slider, change.
To say he had a rough spring is an understatement. He opened the season on the 10-day disabled list because of a tooth infection. Nothing wrong with his arm. For a man with a big arm, I hope it wasn't his canine tooth that gave him trouble. Asking for a friend. There's Cameron Maven, former Brave. He's out in left field for Derek Dietrich. There's a strike for Camargo. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hernandez is 23. Out of Venezuela. 25-23 record in the minor leagues for Houston.
Greeted with a line drive to right. And there's out number 1 in the Atlanta 7th. Stretch is coming up after the Braves bat in the inning. A lot of good things to talk about tonight. A very tight ball game through 6, or through 5.5, I should say. And then Braves got it going in the 6th. Mike Foltynewicz, 5 innings of 1 unearned run ball. And the Braves looking good in their quest to win 8 consecutive road games tonight. And here's Ryan Flaherty. And he serves one out of play foul. I can't even begin, Joe, to imagine how hard it is for Flaherty to go a week between big league at bats
and not see live pitching. And the hardest part is to try to wait, stay back, not be over anxious.
Grounded to the right side. Castro with a great effort can't make the play to first, and Flaherty is aboard with 1 out. That'll be a hit. It obviously wasn't that hard.
No, he'll take it. Colin Castro's been diving all over the right field grass and corralling ground balls. Can't seem to win any of those plays at first, though.
Yeah, Freeman beat out a play. Now Flaherty at first. For Ozzie Albies, a grand slam last time up. His 11th home run. And 28 runs batted in now for the Braves second baseman. Didn't get that one. No balls, 2 strikes. Home run leaders in the National League. Bryce Harper with 12, Pollock, Blackman, and now Albies with 11. The 0-2 pitch. Hit a mile high right to the center of the diamond. And Rojas says he's got it, puts the squeeze on that for the second out.
I know that Bryce Harper's stint as a leadoff man was only for a couple of games, probably temporary, but how about the fact that Harper is a leadoff man, Ozzie is a leadoff man, Blackman is a leadoff man. We're all at the top of the home run race.
Get your best hitters at the top of the order, I guess, right?
I'm not sure where Pollock's hitting in the order, but he's led off before.
Well, for Arizona, he can probably hit wherever he wants. Diamondbacks are 24-12. And Colorado trying to gain ground. They're 3.5 back in what's turning out to be a great race in the West. Sharply hit. Nice play. Rojas, the flip to second in time, erases Flaherty. And that takes care of Atlanta in the 7th inning. A 7-run 6th, the difference tonight. How apropos is that? Time for the stretch. Let's send it back to Kelsey in our Atlanta studios. Luis Gohara, he's got a chance to pitch tonight. He's got a 7-run lead in the 7th. And good to have Gohara back on a major league mound.
21 years old. That's all. Numbers for him last year, 6'3", listed 265.
The thing that was so interesting about Gohara last year was he had 4 pitches. Didn't always throw them successfully, but you could see that there were the makings of a very, very solid starter.
Started with Florida last year, went 7-4.
Soft line drive to Freddie Freeman. There's the first out. So welcome back, Luis.
7-4 across 3 different stops in the minor leagues with a 2.62 ERA. That's what prompted the call up.
So Foltynewicz went 5 innings of 3 hit ball. Freeman a perfect 6th inning. And now Lewis Brinson's up. He's the lone Marlin to score. Scoring runs has been a problem of late for the Fish. They were just swept by the Cubs and were outscored 31-9 at Wrigley Field. The Braves have them down 8-1 tonight. So the last 4 games, for all intents and purposes, the Marlins have been outscored 39-10. 1 ball, no strikes from Gohara, and Brinson took a strike. Gohara came to spring training with a great shot to win a spot in rotation, but he had a sprained ankle that cost him any opportunity for that. That's going to hang up forever. Who wants it? Ender's going to grab it. Brinson's retired. 2 outs. And between Mississippi and Gwinnett, Louise got hit pretty hard. 0-3 with 12 earned runs, but 15 strikeouts in almost 16 innings of work. Got the first 2 big league hitters tonight, and now he'll face former Brave Cameron Maben.
They got him on February 22nd. Signed him as a free agent. Second in the American League in stolen bases last year, 33. Only 1 behind the league leader.
One ball, 1 strike for Maben. And that's fouled away at 96.
Cameron was popular in the Braves clubhouse. Very friendly sort.
Little pop. Ozzie on the run. Can't get it. So a blue hit by Maben with 2 outs. And that brings Real Muto back to the batter's box. He's gotten on base twice.
Breaking ball, just fought it off. He'll take it.
I imagine Maben's going to be a great guy in the Marlins clubhouse because he is a veteran. He's been through good times, bad times in the major leagues. So many young players on this team. And a good example tonight, a 2-out single. Here's Real Muto. He had a base hit to start the game. Braves were 11-8 against the Marlins last year. They're off to a good start in 2018. Leading 8-1. The Braves with 13 hits. And 2 long homers. Part of a back-breaking 7-run 6th. And a strike. Just a guess, but I would think this is the kind of game where the Braves would love to see Gohara get at least 2 innings, maybe more. Maybe finish it off.
Absolutely, that would be tremendous.
Save the pen for tomorrow night, which features Brandon McCarthy and Dan Straley. Saturday night, it's Mike Soroka and Harlan Garcia. Then Sunday, Newcomb and Urania. Right there, a strike, and Real Muto's frozen, and the Fish are done in the 7th inning.
Active, and I wish he wouldn't miss a little bit of time here and there and actually see him in a healthy 162 game series as our first baseman, Freddie Freeman. He's got a swing that you don't necessarily teach. It works for him, and you know, he's probably one of the most impressive hitters I've been around, and it's fun to watch him hit.
It's been fun to watch him hit tonight, partner. 4 for 4.
How about his last 12 road games? Pretty good numbers, wouldn't you say? And wearing out the Fish.
And he jumps all over the first one. He's got a 5-hit night. 14 hits for Atlanta. Freddie Freeman is 5 for 5, 4 singles and a 2-run homer.
Get them while they're hot. They don't come along very often. First 5-hit game of his career.
So Nick Markakis is the man in the box. He's 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. 2,101 hits, as we mentioned last night. When All-Star voting comes around, there are going to be a lot of Braves who should be getting a lot of votes. Nick Markakis ought to be one of them. Most hits among active players for a man that has never played in the All-Star game. Nick Markakis. Perhaps 2018, the season that will change that. Albies having an All-Star caliber campaign. Freeman an All-Star caliber campaign. And hopefully more will join in on the fun before voting wraps up.
You know, there's always that thing about a guy who has had a tremendous career but never got to the postseason, never played in the World Series, like Ernie Banks and so on and so forth. Well, that's one thing that you really don't have any control over, because it requires a team effort, requires your team to win and get into the postseason. But to put up this many hits like Nick has and never be even chosen as when somebody got hurt, you know, as an alternate, right, that type thing, is hard to believe.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And I mean, you look at what he's doing at the plate. Yeah, he's getting his hits, but he's seeing the ball so well, Joe. He's only struck out 13 times. He has 7 more walks than strikeouts this year. On May the 10th. Sharply hit to second. Flip to second, 1. And the throw to first too late. Long flip from Starlin Castro. That might have handcuffed him a bit at second base. The Marlins force Freeman for the first out. Nick's aboard with one away. Kurt Suzuki, one of two Braves regulars who were the sacrifice to the baseball gods in a 14-hit game. Kurt's 0 for 3 with a walk. Jose Bautista 0 for 4, but with an RBI. Let's see if Kurt can pick up a knock, a strike.
We're not quite to that sacrificial lamb type yet.
No?
No, not in double figures in runs yet. 2 more runs on the board, then all of a sudden you start thinking about who's the guy.
No balls and a strike. Well, the good thing is there have been a lot of games this year where the Braves have been able to say, well, sorry, you're the guy.
That's a great thing.
Contrasting ball clubs right now. The Braves tops in just about every offensive category in the league. The Marlins near the bottom. And it's played out that way tonight. Miami with a run on 4 hits. Atlanta was hoping on this road trip to gain some ground on the Phillies in the East. What in the world happened to the Giants? They looked like they were on their way to the World Series when they played us, and then the Phillies just clobbered them.
Some imposters went to Philadelphia. I don't know where the Giants went.
That was a little tough to watch. Swing and a miss, or I should say foul ball, I beg your pardon. 1-2 for Suzuki.
Go to Philadelphia after sweeping the Braves and looking like world beaters. Go to Philadelphia and get swept 4 games and just get wiped out.
Well, as hard as it is for Braves fans, there'll be Mets fans the next series. That's who the Phillies play while we're battling Miami. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And down and away.
Phillies have been really good at home. With their win today, they're 15-5. But they're only 7-13 in the East against the East.
And 6 of those losses have been to the Braves, who've won all 3 series head-to-head with the Phillies so far. Got 1 more coming up this month in a couple of weeks. Then we don't see them again until September. Boy, those games might be real fun and exciting.
Yeah, they're 15-2 against everybody else.
Good battle here for Kurt Suzuki. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Markakis at first and way high.
I don't know what the dates are that the Braves play the Phillies, but get your Nola, Pivetta, and Vasquez notes ready.
Yep.
And that's all we have faced.
Major League rule. Got to see the same 3 guys in each series we play them, especially if the results stay the way they have. This one's popped up into shallow center, and Castro gives way. Brinson makes the grab. There's out number 2. The Braves play the Phillies on the road May 21, 22, and 23. And we don't see them again until September. The Braves will play the Phillies 7 of the final 11 games on the regular season schedule. In fact, we play the last 3 games of the year in Philly in 2018. Ender's had a 3-hit night tonight. Good to see him swinging the bat like Ender again. He's added 14 points to his average with 2 doubles, a single, a steal, a run scored, and an RBI.
The Marlins, facing the Braves for the first time this year, don't see the Nationals until Memorial Day weekend. First time they've played.
Have they had a matchup head-to-head with a team where they've seen them 3 times already, like the Braves and Phillies?
Stand by. Negative.
Nope. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lifted to left. Maben is there. He's got it. And that ends the Atlanta 8th inning. No runs, a hit, a man left. Braves in command in game 1. Braves have an 8-1 lead. Luis Gohara will go back to work for his second inning of work. Hopefully he can finish this one off and put the Braves in the win column for the 22nd time this year. Braves trying to win game number 8 in a row on the road. In fact, there are only 2 teams that have played more road games than the Braves have so far. So that's another exciting thing about what this team has done. Not only the number of road games, but the quality of the opposition. The Braves had a very tough schedule. First 5 weeks, they've overcome both of those things, which you hope pays dividends later in the summer with a lot of home games in Atlanta. Martin Prado leads off, takes a strike from Gohara, who looked crisp and efficient in his first big league frame this year. 2 hits for Martin, who snapped an 0 for 19 with a third inning single. Braves have 8 runs on 14 hits. Drew Jenkins tells me the Braves have had a double-digit hit game 16 times this year.
That's wonderful. Boy, is that good.
16 out of 36. That'll work. Acuna, good closing speed, takes away a hit try for Martin Prado. Nice running catch, 1 out.
Got a good jump on it. That quick early speed, big difference maker. One quirk about the Marlins schedule that I just noticed is that they opened the season at home with the Cubs. They just came back from playing the Cubs.
Castro deep center. Ender on the run, just shy of the wall, makes the grab. That's a homer in just about any other big league park but this one.
Agreed. Long way for Ender to go with his back to the infield and still track it. Point is, Marlins are done with the Cubs. They don't see him again.
Well, they're probably happy about that, quite honestly.
Might be, but when you're finished with a team by May 9th, that's pretty kind of weird.
We'll be done with the Cubs on May 17th. And you're right. When we see our broadcast buddies and other folks from the city say, well, have a nice summer. See you next year. It's not even summer yet. As Justin Bohr bats. And Gohara missed to him. 2 balls, no strikes. Bohr 0 for 2 with a walk. that missed inside, ball 3.
Luis had a trying offseason. He lost his father, someone who had been instrumental in his baseball development, very close to him. Been hard for him to get over that, as it would be for anyone.
Painted a corner there. 3 balls and a strike. A little too high, and Bohr's aboard with 2 outs. So a single in the 7th with 2 outs. Now a walk in the 8th with 2 men down. Keeps it alive. Brian Anderson, who, when he's not broadcasting for the Milwaukee Brewers, is a very good infield and outfield player. 0 for 3 in game 1 tonight. I think he's still a rookie.
I believe you're right.
And I bring that up because Anderson is 4th best in the National League rookie batting average race, 3rd in RBIs, 1st in multi-hit games, 1st in runs, 1st in hits.
I hear a little chop and chant going here.
Get used to it. We're going to hear it a lot. 2 balls, no strikes. And that's in there. 2-1. Anderson, a 3rd round pick in 2014 by Miami. They do not have on their 40-man roster as of, well, let me correct that. Page 59 of their media guide, they say how the 2018 Marlins were built. Time of the publication. That's bounce foul. The Marlins do not have a single home drafted #1 pick. On that roster. Guys they acquired were #1 picks, but not drafted, brought to the big leagues and developed by Miami. And that's, again, going to be job 1 for Gary Denbo, Derek Jeter, and their organization. Fix that fast. And they're going to be picking high in the draft for the foreseeable future, one would think.
Alex Fernandez was.
Jose Fernandez.
Jose, excuse me.
And that's ball 4. So Gohara, back-to-back walks with 2 out. Pitcher spot is due.
Sweat is pouring off at him. Very pleasant. A lot of breeze circulating in the stadium, but he's worked up a lather.
This is Yadiel Rivera. Swing and a miss. Another former Milwaukee Brewer farmhand. .6'3", 185. Made his big league debut in 2015 with Milwaukee. Not a whole lot of big league time. 43 career games coming into the season. And Miami signed him as a minor league free agent. He's down to his last strike. 1 and 2. 2 on, 2 out. 8-1 Atlanta game. And out of play foul.
Signs as a minor league free agent. Little did he know that he was going to come over here and have about a half dozen of his Milwaukee farmhand friends playing for the Marlins too, after the deal for Yelich.
it'll give them something to do after the games, Joe. They can go look for a good bratwurst place here in South Florida.
Yeah. Check out the tailgating.
There you go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Gohara has his second strikeout. And this game heads to the 9th inning. Atlanta in command.
In the top of the 9th here. Well, we're trying to figure out why this team clicks so much on the road, why they have such good team chemistry. I had to go to elder statesman, 39-year-old Peter Moylan, who told me, Paul, I've been on good teams before, but there's still usually clicks. He said this team, the young guys ask the old guys questions, and when that happens, they sit and they listen. He said he's really enjoyed being with this team, and it's like family out in the bullpen, family in the locker room. Guys, they have a good thing going on and off the field.
Did you just see that?
Yeah.
There's that young old chemistry that Paul was talking about. Acuna went over and pulled out the top knot for Ender Inciarte. And Gohara is going to hit for himself, as we suspected. The Braves will try to see Luis get the final 9 outs of this game. And Brad Ziegler, a tough opponent, even if you're not a pitcher.
He is their closer. He's got 4 saves and needed some work.
Luis fouled it off. Still 0-2.
And make no mistake, as you just saw, Ronald Acuna Jr. knows where the camera is.
And a swing and a miss. Gohara's down on strike. Ziegler's 9th inning off to a successful start. 1 man down. Camargo's been on base 3 times. He was walked intentionally twice. He scored once, and he has a single. That base hit in the 5th inning snapped an 0 for 14 dry spell at the plate. And a strike. Slim pickings through the turnstiles in Miami tonight. As Joe said, credit to the Marlins, they're not hiding their ticket numbers. 8,277 attended game 1 of the series. This is the Marlins' 25th anniversary season. A big celebration here June 8th through the 10th. I believe I read somewhere they're going to have Charlie Huff come out and throw out the ceremonial first pitch. He was their starting pitcher on opening day when they beat the Dodgers in the first ever game in Marlins history.
That'd be a great twist. Play the Padres that weekend. And then following the Padres, one of the Giants teams. We don't know which one will show up.
Hey, there's a thing of beauty by Camargo. He served one inside the third base line. And he's aboard with a 1-out single. A 2-hit game for Johan. That's good.
Yeah, and that was a good approach there with the submarining style of Ziegler. Can't try and pull him. Ball running away from you. Took it the other way. Nice job.
Little chopper. Ziegler will flip to first. Barehanded grab by Bohr. That advances the runner, but it's the second out. And back to the top. And Ozzie Albies. Grand slam for Albies. If you missed it in the 6th inning, it broke this game open. It was a tight game. 1-1. And the Braves erupted for 7 runs in the 6th inning.
Just crept over the fence.
His first career grand slam. First grand slam for the Braves since Matt Kemp hit one last year. Now to play foul. Strike one. By the way, Matt Kemp's having a heck of a run to start the year for the Dodgers. Good for him.
Just going to mention that. Hitting over 300, 5 homers at last count. Close to 20 RBIs. And he looks to be in real good shape. Hopefully healthy.
Kemp and the Dodgers host the Reds tonight. That game starts at 10:10 Eastern Time. They'll get started shortly. Any word on when Matt Harvey is going to start for Cincinnati?
I have not heard.
Tyler Malley's going for him tonight. Brandon Finnegan's supposed to pitch tomorrow. As that one's hitting to right field for a base hit. Here comes Camargo around third. Anderson loads up. Here comes his throw to the plate. It is going to be late. An RBI hit for Ozzie Albies gives him 5 ribbies tonight and 29 for the year. And Atlanta's lead is now 8 runs. It's a 9-1 score.
For him, it's get his RBIs while they're hot. Went out and covered that outside third pitch. Anderson came up with a strong throw, but with 2 outs, Camargo had a big jump.
Again, Joe, Albies and Acuna, 2 of the 3 youngest players in the game, doing all this damage.
Oh, are they? You forget, don't you?
Right. They sure don't play like it. As that one's out of play foul. We'll see one of the 3 youngest players in Mike Soroka pitch here on Saturday night.
And Gohara won't be 22 until the last day of July.
No balls and a strike. Up the middle. And the step on the pillow by Rojas will end the Atlanta 9th inning. 3 outs to get for the Braves. They lead by 8 here in Miami. quiet times over in Tampa Bay, and a big 6th inning, the big story this evening.
Yeah, and quiet series at home against San Francisco before that, but they've broken out in a big way tonight. Ozzie with the slam, Freddie with his first career 5-hit game, Nick 2 more hits, Ender 2 hits last night, 3 tonight. Jose Bautista's driven in his first run as a Brave to get things started tonight. And Luis Gohara can go an inning and get a save, a 3-inning save.
And he's never had a save as a professional pitcher. And Atlanta needs 3 more outs to earn their 22nd win of the season. You know when the Braves got their 22nd win last year? May 29th in their 49th game. This is game number 36. In 2018, Miguel Rojas the batter and takes downstairs. Ball 1, strike 1 from Gohara. Foltynewicz and Smith, the pitchers of record at the moment. 1-1 count. In the air to left center. Acuna and Ender. Who wants it? It'll be Inciarte taking charge, as he should. Rojas retired. There's the first out in the bottom of the 9th.
You hit a ball in the air in that direction with any kind of hang time, it's an out.
Yep.
One of those guys is going to catch it.
Here's Lewis Brinson.
Ender would have let him have it, except he messed with his hair
right
in the dugout.
They're having fun, and it's fun to watch. Brinson takes a strike, 0-1. Brandon McCarthy, one of the best run-supported pitchers in the National League, hopes for more of the same tomorrow night. Braves gave Mike Foltynewicz 8 runs tonight. That one's hammered deep toward left. Acuna's going to watch that one sail over the boards for a long home run. So that's the first earned run for Miami tonight. It makes it a 9-2 game. And Miami fans are hoping to see a lot more of that in the years to come from hometown kid Lewis Brinson.
Like a hanging slider. 12th homer, or excuse me, 5th homer, 12th RBI.
So here's Cameron Maben. 1 in, 1 out. 7-run lead. Keep pounding strikes. And Gohara did, but missed at 95 miles an hour. Lifted to shallow right. Albies out, Markakis in. Nick's got it. And the Braves are an out away from a perfect road trip to this point. And Real Muto, the last hope for the Fish. Braves are also an out away from running their road success to 8 straight games with a victory. The all-time single-season record is 10 for Atlanta, set in 92 and 94.
And if the score holds up at 9-2, the 8-game streak, the Braves would have outscored their opponents 50-8.
And now Gohara feeling it. He's a strike away from sending us to Braves Live. Here's the wind, the 0-2 pitch. And it's popped up. Right side, Freddie Freeman is at the bag. He's there. He's got it. And the Braves have knocked off Miami tonight, 9-2. A 5 RBI night for Ozzie Albies, including his first career grand slam. Freddie Freeman with his first career 5-hit game. And Luis Gohara with his first professional save for Mike Foltynewicz, who earns his 3rd win. Braves are 3-0 on the road, Joe. They've won 8 in a row, and the offense was incredible.
It's fun to watch, Chip. Every night, up and down the lineup, somebody's doing